Maria, Director Fuentes, look, I mean, you've really been just a remarkable advocate. Your office has been amazing and all the staff within it, making sure that service members, veterans, and their families are, high on the priority list of folks that we want to make sure are being taken care of. I could go on with lots of different things that your office has done, but what I can tell everybody here is that they're official veterans or official service member supporters, if you will. What do we want Arizona's helping community to look like 5 years from now?
Thomas, thank you for having me back with you. I think this is such an important topic, and I'm very grateful you're spending time talking about our volunteers, our helpers, because really, Wanda, you speak of transportation. Sometimes it's as simple as, having the services available, but people not being able to just get there. And so there's a lot all of us individuals can do, even if we're not experts or therapists or service providers by our profession, which is a critical, important part of the helper community. But there's a lot that our volunteers and our laymen can do in our communities to help people access services, get to a place of healing and thriving. And so for me, as I look at BCCC and networks like this, what I'm seeing is an increased investment in our helpers, increasing that investment in having networks that are trauma informed, that are culturally competent, which is what I hear when I hear BCCC, is that, the military community, our veterans and our military families, that is a culture in and of itself. And it can be intimidating sometimes to those of us that did not come up through military circles. And we want to help, but we don't know how. And so having a network like this and information like this can just increase the support that we give to our helpers, so they can in turn support our veterans and our military families, which will in turn increase their outcomes and their success. And that is why people like to help, right? Nobody in the service industry and in communities and helping and volunteering is in it for the money. We're in it to help people and to see these outcomes and to see people thrive and to see them improve throughout their lives. And so by building networks like this, when you're building the capacity, that cultural competency, you're just improving the success of the people that you're serving, but also growing that network of helpers, which is what I'm seeing happening in Arizona and hope happens throughout the future. Additionally, that faith-based community piece that we talk about so often. We have so many churches and faith-based providers throughout the state that are constantly doing this work of service and this work of helping others. Connecting that to our secular providers and our secular helpers, we're all working towards the same goals. We're all serving in a secular manner. And so building those bridges, because what we know is we have a great deal, if not most, of our people that we're trying to serve, that spiritual component is so critical to their recovery and their improvement in whatever journey they are in. And so for those for whom that is important, building that bridge with our secular and our faith-based helpers, I think, is an important part of this ecosystem and network as well.
Maria, holy mackerel. that was amazing. I love the concept. I think it's really important for everyone on this call to remember there is an intimidation factor when you're breaking into any new kind of culture or group of folks. It's a little bit like, well, maybe I don't belong or things like that, and we don't believe that. We take a very open line that everybody, has the opportunity to be able to serve and support and those things. So one of the things that comes up quite frequently is the issue of funding, support for helping efforts around the state. The Arizona Community Foundation and other community foundations across the state have a really important role. Other philanthropic enterprises have a really important role for things. Maria, would you mind talking with us a little bit about how community foundations and other philanthropic organizations can help support veteran helping efforts?
Absolutely. I think it's so important. One of the things that when I walked into this job and I got to know Be Connected and ACMF right away, one of the things that was most impressive to me and appealing as an investor is that you have a very diversified influx of funds, right? You don't rely on one grant or one formula entitlement from the federal government, et cetera. Braiding funding and making sure that you have different sources of whether it's state, federal, local funds to support any initiative is a key to success. But that public-private partnership and making sure that that private side, that private investment side is strong is really, really critical, because any of us that have had to deal with federal or state funds, there are strings. It is prescriptive, it is specific, it is narrow. And when you're trying to help a human heal, it is not specific and narrow. It is complicated and it is ever changing and evolving. And so the service provider and the delivery mechanism needs to be flexible and innovative. And that's what private funds and philanthropy can do that sometimes government funds can't do. They are an incubator for innovation. You can invest in a pilot or an idea to demonstrate its efficiency and then bring in all of these other braided funds, whether it's federal, state, et cetera, because you've demonstrated that innovation. Private funds can also help fill gaps. You know, we may not be able to, we have all of these services, but we don't have transportation. Maybe we need to recruit more volunteers. So it can be both on that funding for innovation, gap filling, amplifying. It can also be helping recruit helpers. You have a diverse philanthropic universe in Arizona, and they're very active and they're across different areas of interest. So again, we're talking about helping humans and people who are complicated and have diverse areas of interest. And maybe they're associated with arts, or art really speaks to them. And there's a philanthropy for the arts that can help recruit volunteers in that space, right? So really thinking outside of the box, because when you're talking about helping people, we have to look at everything. And philanthropy brings that, especially in Arizona.
What a power-packed answer.